Welcome back to Let's Play Pirates of the Sword Coast. I figured we would just head on over here to the temple. I figured I'd just pull this up too. Everyone's pretty stacked. This is what my inventory is currently looking like. 28 AC with a 22 dexterity, which is pretty good. Garm's looking pretty good. I would have liked to have found him some boots to wear, but it didn't really work out. Or a helmet, but that didn't work out either. You saw that. And Nassar looks pretty good as well. Nassar's axe is not magical, although I don't know if Garm's is either. It's a +1. Nassar's axe is not magical, which isn't great, but it will live. But I do still have this. The map for the Cave of Umberlee, which is the Shrine of Umberlee, which is northeast 13 paces. Southwest. Oh, is it this? What am I looking for? A crystal, I think it's this. Yep. 8 paces west to the female statue. You know, this thing. There's buried treasure here. Paces northeast to the gong. Paces west. Out of my way, people. What did it say? To the fountain. Oh, that looks like a fountain.
The ritual. I recognize it, Eater of Garm. I would hear it across the water each time the warm-blood goddess renewed our stores of sacred wood.
Yes, every time a ship washed up ashore. 51 paces west of your current location. Through the doors. Let's roll, people. Me and the boys.
Faltan, tell me it's not really you. Last I remember, sisters, I was watching this man off the starboard plank, headed land-ho and racing sharks. Tell me, sailor, did you win the race or just taste bad? Nevertheless, you're too late. We've just finished with our storm call, and the 4 sea statues have been loaded aboard the Midnight Rose. We're taking them to Fiddler's Green, to the Temple Under the Sea, where they can be returned to Umberlee, their rightful keeper.
Where's Fiddler's Green?
It is the barbaric name given to Umberlee's watery domain. None of us have ever made the journey, but according to the legends, the souls of dead sailors gather there. Do not follow us, Faltan. It's a place from which you are not likely to return.
Why are you doing this?
Don't you understand? This is my destiny, my duty. Umberlee needs these statues in order to regain her rightful place within the Pantheon and empower her avatar in this realm. I'm curious, Faltan. Why do you think I'm doing this?
Because you're a foolish, confused, naive little... Well, because you're a foolish, confused, naive little bitch.
Is that so? Maybe that's what I am, but you know what? I believe in something called faith. I believe in something called hope. I'm just trying to do what I think is right. And that means serving my goddess by returning these statues to Fiddler's Green.
You worship an evil goddess.
You'd blaspheme in my presence? Umberlee is what Umberlee is, and I am her high priestess. The sea goddess has suffered such slanders long enough. That is why my sisters and I must make the journey to Fiddler's Green to set things aright.
Yeah, Just gonna
Just gonna point this out. Umberlee is a chaotic evil god. Just gonna point that out. The rose isn't yours to take. Give her back. She is a fine ship, and you may have claim on her within the mortal realm. As for the gods, however, all ships that skim over Umberlee's great depths are hers by right. The Midnight Rose will take us to Fiddler's Green, and no mortal claim will stop her. You killed Captain Ellendry. Your captain was fool enough to resist Umberlee's will. I did what I could to warn him against it, and I'll warn you just the same. If you wish to prevent my sisters and me from reaching Fiddler's Green, then death waits for you as well. Time to die. To the Midnight Rose, priestesses. We sail for Fiddler's Green at once.
I guess we're fighting some Sawagan. Oh my god, the damage I deal. Oh my god, man. It is kind of insane to me that the game was like, hey, you want to add an extra D12 worth of damage onto your weapon stats? I mean, that's literally what this enchantment thing did. I mean, it's oh my god, look at her! These are the type of enchantments, brutal honesty, that you would be expecting to see on, like, a dagger. You know, you usually see, like, different damage things, like, on daggers, obviously to compensate that daggers have very low... Hey, Polly. Have very low natural damage. They're 1d4. Although, are they 1d6 in 3rd edition? I have no idea, actually. Slong and Spear, armor... Wow. We got a lot of armor. Because I believe these are all random drops. And we got a lot of armor. Not sure I'm all too thrilled about that, but... Harp of the Beastmaster. I can actually use that. This I was going to say, I believe leads me out to the dock, yes. Well, I guess we'll go back to Prugdush just to see what these items are. Also, I guess the Umberlee, it's funny, you can go back into the Temple of Umberlee now, from what I understand, and I really don't think they care. Maybe they don't notice that you obviously were, like, fighting down there, but... What is this? Dead roach. You think it's dead. Okay, well, I hope it's dead, to say the least. What is this? The Dolphin Prince. 1d6. Wow. It's pretty good. Not bad. Tridents are kind of a weird weapon, but that's not terrible. I definitely don't need these robes anymore. I can't sell it. I can't sell plot items. Okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Potion of heal, potion of antidote. Actually, we'll keep those. Open your inventory, sir. Hand this over. Calcite chain. Actually, kinda underwhelming in the grand scheme of things. I don't need this. Don't need this. Do I really want this? Harp of the Beastmaster. Charm person or ant? No. No. I mean, it's cool. I am generally of the opinion that I really do not think Charm person is actually all that useful a spell. Put that in your pipe and smoke it if you want. But I really have never actually felt that Charm Person is a super useful spell. If I'm going to be brutally honest. Can I talk to Polly after all this? Do you miss Captain Allendry, Polly? Meh. I was captain. Now Andre's parent. That.
You're one of the strangest birds I've ever met.
I know you. Oh my god. I think I've already asked you this, but good lord. How much money do I have? 10K. Is there... I would kind of like a better item for Garm. Do you sell double-sided axes? It's a great axe. It's a double axe, but it's not any better. That's a double axe plus 1. That's what we have. So what is this? Sword of Bow. Wow, that is a really cool looking weapon for how underwhelming it is. What is this? Axe of Tallkin. That's not even... What? That's not even worth it. Wow, a lot of these weapons, for as cool as they look, are very underwhelming. Double axe plus 2. 7 grand for... I mean, to be fair, that's what my rapier cost, but... I just don't even think that's worth it. I honestly, legitimately, think I should buy another enchantment for this thing. As insane as that might sound. Like, I really think if I were to get another... Like, what? I was gonna say, it's acid and electrical, so you know what? Let's do... We already have fire damage, so we'll do cold. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's better than paying 7 grand for an extra +1 to hit, essentially. Like, I think 6 damage coming from me, especially for how consistently I'm able to hit things, is probably better than giving Garm, who already hits things very well and hits things hard because he has a 20 strength. Yeah, that's probably better. This is also, quite frankly, potentially the most tricked out weapon I have ever had in a D&D game. I mean, good lord. So, they have left on the Midnight Rose, which is a problem, but...
There you are, Captain. You do realize that there aren't flowers at sea, yes? I'm rather partial to starfish, mind you. Yes, a bouquet of starfish. I'd take quite kindly to that. What do you think, Captain? Are we ready to sail?
I'm afraid we don't have a boat. Yeah, we're a bit short in that department, aren't we? Right, short in the ship department, short in the ship department.
It's just as well, to be honest. While I certainly appreciated the flowers, the Sisterhood wouldn't have taken well to me stealing the High Priestess's ship. Maybe something a little less adventuresome is in order. Check down by the docks and see if there's another ship that will take us. I admit I'm a little concerned about what Sister Tessina might be getting herself into, so I'd like to give chase if we can. Is that the only thing still keeping us here?
How did Pegleg take the news?
The news of me joining your crew, you mean? Well, he had a bit of a crying jag, and he begged me to come back. I ordered him a double rum, though, and it seemed to calm him down. Still, the sooner we set sail, the better, I think. How's it looking?
Well, I just told you how it's looking. Vengwall, what's going on, my man?
Well met, friend.
I'd be doing me best to lay low, Faltan. How much longer do you think we're going to be? If it weren't for the storm, I'd say ye and I could just come out of the Rose with just the two of us. But still, there'd be no sense in seizing what ye can't sail. I hope the storm clears soon.
I think we already talked to Whipwill again. I think I already said that to him, and if I didn't, I apologize, I guess, but... I grow restless here in port, Captain. How long until we set sail? Soon, Sister Tessina fled aboard the Midnight Rose. Bloody she-witch. Aye, the Cutlass be abuzz with talk. Desperate times call for desperate measures, lad. There be a man named Colmar the Grim, captain of the Skull and Bones, down at the docks. He is not an honorable man, but his skills as a navigator be unquestioned. If you intend to catch the Rose, his be the only ship capable of doing it. Langer?
There you are. Thank you again for saving my neck. Drinks are on me, and it will be an honor to serve under your command, wherever we set sail. Now that the storm's cleared, I'm ready whenever you are. It's a shame about the Rose, though. I know you had your eye on her.
The Rose is gone, but I'm not done chasing her.
That's the spirit, Captain. Well, I do owe you my life, don't I? Look, talk to Komar down at the docks. He's the captain of the Skull and Bones and desperate enough for a crew that I think he'd let us set our first course. Sound him out on the idea and see what he says. Yes, quite the hustle and bustle, quite the enterprise. I can't believe I'm standing here, actually, rather than being cooped up in the lighthouse.
Don't get out much, do you?
At least the storm's cleared now. Just in time for a bunch of priestesses to come down from the temple and set sail all in a hurry. Hey, that wasn't the boat we were supposed to set sail on, was it?
So much for stealing the Midnight Rose.
That Decina lass is nothing but trouble, Captain. Don't say I didn't warn you. Yes, if that was your plan, I'm afraid the priestesses have beat you to it.
What do we do now? We can't let him escape.
Aye, we need another ship and fast. Rumor around the Cutlass is that it seems the captain of the Skull and Bones seems eager enough to leave port while the skies hold clear. Maybe he'll be interested in giving chase to the Midnight Rose.
So yes, that is the part where you basically, if you don't know what to do, you just go and talk to your crew members, of which we have 6. Which I'm not even sure how that... I thought you're only supposed to be allowed to have 5, so I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen when we try to board the Rose.
Ye be speaking to Komar the Grim, the crewless captain of this fine ship, the Skull and Bones. The storms be gone now, taking with them all their blow and bluster. They put a creak in me Rudderman's bones, didn't they, old Tom?
Yes, master, that they did.
No matter, we'll leave harbour soon enough and ply the seas once we are able. But it was a wretched shame to lose me and crew in such a manner. We'll need more before we put to sea, won't we, old Tom?
What happened to your former crew?
It was a dark night, robbed of stars, lad. The sea tossed us, lightning split the clouds and winds howled all around. Rain flew like daggers to the sails while mighty old Tom struggled with the rudder, trying to bring us round to port.
Round to port, round to port.
Then came the wave, thrice higher than the mizzenmast, dredged up from the darkest deep, cold and thrashing with every eyeless creature in the sea has known. It claimed us all save old Tom and meself. They be naught but sea-buried bones today.
Why would such a sea wave happen? It sounds a bit too much like Martin's vision, doesn't it?
What man can know the will of the she, matey? It be a woman who rules her, and a jealous one at that. The Lady Umberlee does what she will, and the curse be upon us to avoid her fury while we can. 'Tis not our place to question why.
How did you and old Tom survive?
You see this hook? Some call it a curse to lose your hand, but to the lawman jacks. But for me it was been a blessing. When the wind blew and the waves came down, I drove this blessing deep into the wood and held me breath until the sea was gone. As for Rudderman, old Tom here, he and I have a long-standing dispute. He spent the last few months chained to that rudder there as a result. Isn't that right, old Tom? I wouldn't surrender him to Umberlee herself until he and I are back on even keel.
What's the nature of this dispute?
The story's not meant for the ears of a lad like this, is it, old Tom?
No, master. No, it is not.
Nay, I didn't think so. Mind your business, lad. Let bony old Tom and I mind ours.
How did you make it back to port?
When the waves passed, the Skull and Bones was listing fast to starboard. Our sails were tattered as a fishnet, hung with weeds and pocked with sky. But our hold was full. Old Tom still manned the rudder, and the current flowed strong beneath us to bring us home. I won't lie and tell you that no prayers were said nor offerings made, but we limped back to port with enough bounty to pay for repairs.
Back to my other questions. Where are you headed?
Where we be headed? To the sea, and where it takes us, that's where we be headed. You hear that, old Tom? If there be silver in Mazdaca, you'll find me there. If there be lost cities in the heart of Chult, the Skull and Bones will ply the rivers. If the Amish Navy dares to leave their harbor, galleons in tow, you'll find me in the thick of them.
Sounds ambitious.
You be speaking to Komar the Grim, and I go where it pleases me and takes what I wants.
Are you accepting passengers? She's listing a little low in the water as it is. I wonder how many passengers she could even take.
Passengers? Mayhaps, but it be a crew I really need. Ye and your mates seem fit enough for it, lad. I'll make you a deal. Gather me a crew of 5 able soldiers, and old Tom and I will take you wherever you need to sail. Don't that be right, old Tom?
I've got some crew members in the Monkey's Cutlass.
Arr, that you do, lad, and what a batch of wet and scurvy dogs I hear you found. Don't worry, I'll whip them into proper shape for what counts as life aboard the Skull and Bones, won't I, old Tom?
Yes, master. Yes, you will.
Come, let's signal your crew aboard. Judging by how you've been eyeing the Midnight Rose, I take it's her you mean me to follow. Don't worry, lad. You be in Colmar the Grim's hands now. Which of your crew would you be thinking about taking?
Bloodsail. 5 in total. Vantibular, Sweetie Marie, Francis, Whipped Willigan, or Longneck Langer. I don't know, man. Langer don't seem cut out for this. Whipped Willigan.
Arr, and that be 5. I'll horse the signal flags and have Grogbeard send them down. Welcome aboard the Skull and Bones, lad. There just be one small thing we need before we start chasing after yonder rose.
That is where I'm going to end this episode. Yeah, we're not bringing Langer, but I don't know. Let him stay here in Spindrift and enjoy life. Hopefully they don't throw him back in prison. Alright. So, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.